The countdown for the 4th of July holiday weekend is on, and that means the countdown is also on for busy roads this weekend. AAA forecasting record-setting travel with more than 2.6 million Michiganders expected to hit the roads, take to the skies, or ride the rails. Joining us live this morning is Adrian Woodland from AAA to break down what to expect in the best and worst times to travel and how you can make sure you get to your destination safely and, of course, something that we all enjoy stress-free. So, Adrian, good to see you again, my friend. What's behind the surge in 4th of July travel this year?
Well, we found that folks still want to continue to travel and spend time with loved ones. And with the 4th of July falling on a Friday, it makes it perfect for the long weekend to spend with loved ones.
Yeah, that makes sense. And, of course, this is kind of up. So what does it compare this year to last year, what you guys are expecting?
So this year it's record-breaking numbers. It's breaking what we saw last year, which was another set of record-breaking numbers. In Michigan, we're expecting about 2.6 million Michiganders to travel more than 50 miles or more away from home for the period for 4th of July.
Yeah, and from Michigan, how does it compare nationally? How many people are expected to travel nationally?
So nationally, we're expecting record-breaking numbers as well. Nationally, we're projecting about 7.2 million Americans are going to travel through this holiday.
Wow, I mean, that's a lot of people out there on the roads.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had a graphic up there just a second ago too, but 2.6 million Michiganders traveling. What is that split like? Are most people driving? How many people are flying out of all of that?
The majority of those folks are driving. About 2.4 million of that 2.6 will be hitting the roads for a road trip. So roads will definitely be busy.
Yeah, and then flying and buses and trains, what's that breakdown look like?
Yeah, so flying in Michigan, we're expecting about 95,000 Michiganders to fly. And then the other travel, which includes trains, buses, and cruising, we're expecting about 161,000 Michiganders will travel that way.
It's very interesting to break down too because, a lot of people will drive. They're going to drive to their maybe, in-laws house or parents house, X, Y, and Z. So it's interesting to see that. With air travel and other modes like cruises and trains, what trends are you seeing there? Are those going up as well?
Yeah, actually, all of these numbers are up compared to last year, and they've continued to grow. Cruising has definitely grown over the years since the pandemic, and it continues to be a popular mode of transportation and a popular way to do a vacation.
Yeah, maybe somebody wants to do a 4th of July cruise. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, would you say any of those numbers, aside from driving, have really gone up significantly in the past couple of years, that you've seen a really stark increase in these trends?
Probably one of the most stark increases since the pandemic have been cruising. That continues to grow year over year.
Yeah, and talk about just in general, I mean, travel really has had a resurgence since the pandemic. Obviously, we're not locked down. I mean, that was years ago, but can you talk about just that trend that you guys have seen? And of course, I know last year you said record-breaking travel. This year, another record you're expecting to be broken here. So, I mean, what's that trend been like since the pandemic?
Yeah, so Independence Day is one of the most popular times for travel. This year is absolutely no different. We're seeing strong demand for road trips, flights, and cruises. And again, like I mentioned earlier, especially with the holiday falling on a Friday, this is allowing travelers to extend their getaways and their road trips and their vacations. And it's allowing them to make lasting memories with their loved ones.
Absolutely. So, a lot of people, I mean, 2.6 million Michiganders alone, or I'm sorry, what was it, 2.4 driving?
The roads.
So what
Yeah.
advice would you have for those folks planning a road trip this week?
Definitely if you're planning a road trip, one of the first things you want to do is get a pre-trip inspection of your vehicle. You want to check things like your tires, your brakes, your engine oil, and other fluids, and make sure that your vehicle is ready for the roadway.
Yeah, so making sure that your car is ready to go. What are some of the most common roadside issues that AAA does respond to over the holiday, and how can people avoid those?
Yeah, so last year over the Independence Day, AAA responded to over 700,000 stranded motorists on the roadways nationally, with the most common calls being flat tires, dead batteries, and lockouts. So definitely it's really important that you get your vehicle checked so that you can prevent any breakdowns on the roadway.
Yeah, gas prices, we actually heard from an expert earlier. It sounds a little bit on the cheap side. So what's AAA tracking gas price wise?
Yeah, so gas price wise, drivers will definitely find cheaper prices this year compared to last year. Last year on the 4th of July, Michigan state average was about $3.60 a gallon for regular unleaded. As of today, the state average is about $3.23.
Hmm.
So you'll definitely be seeing cheaper prices at the pump this year compared to last year.
Okay, a little easier on your wallet. Maybe you can take some of the costs that you're not spending at the gas pump, go to the grocery store, and have a fun cookout.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to plan for the cookout, plan for trips in general heading into the holiday weekend. People are probably trying to figure out when to actually get out the door and get to those plans. What would you say are some of the best and worst times to hit the road this week?
So the busiest days expected are going to be tomorrow, July 2nd, particularly in the afternoon. So if you are planning to travel tomorrow, if you can leave in the morning, you can miss some of the heavier traffic. And another busy day is Sunday, July 6th. So that's also expected to be one of the busiest days on the roadway. So either if you can avoid those days or if you have to travel on those days, get out earlier and you can miss some of the heavier traffic.
Yeah, that's some good advice. I know that we have a lot of congestion points in the state of Michigan. What are some of the big metro areas that you guys are expecting to see the heaviest volumes?
I mean, of course, Metro Detroit, Grand Rapids is another area. Interstates like I-96, I-94, I-75 are definitely expected to be busy.
Okay, and of course, what are your top tips to avoid delays or disruptions this holiday week? I mean, there's got to be a lot on the roads, but also, something else you guys sent out too recently was the common hazards for homeowners. Can you talk about what some of those might be and how people can have a safe holiday weekend?
Yeah, while 4th of July is definitely a time of celebration, it also brings a spike in home insurance claims related to fires, water accidents, and other holiday hazards. And so, with so many festivities happening at home, it's essential that people take proactive steps to prevent tragedies. So, like for instance, with grilling, because of course, a lot of people are going to be grilling this weekend. It's important that you supervise your grill at all times, never leave it unattended. Keep children and pets away from a safe distance away from your grilling, and definitely place your grill away from homes, decks, and trees.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I feel like people do kind of forget about that. You always see grills right
Yeah.
up against the home, so maybe not do that. Maybe pull it away from the house just a little bit.
Yeah, that and always fireworks too, I feel like is a big one to kind of keep away from your house as well.
You would think it's self-explanatory, but
You-
sometimes
you
it's not
would.
always the case.
Yeah, you would absolutely hope that it would be, but unfortunately, yeah, sometimes it does not necessarily to be the case. When you were talking about insurance too, travel insurance, how does that factor into all of this, and what does AAA say about it this year?
Travel insurance is definitely something you should have for your trip. Travel insurance definitely helps with any type of delays, some types of medical emergencies, and different things may be covered. So it's really important to get travel insurance so you have that confidence behind you while you're on your vacation.
Yeah, another thing we keep asking you, I know we've had you on a couple times to talk about travel during the holiday season, but I mean, when you were thinking about Real ID and the 96,000 people that are supposed to be at the airports across Michigan, what do we need to know about Real ID as we head to the airport?
Again, real ID is in effect. You want to make sure that you have it so that, again, you can get through the TSA lines quicker. If you don't have one, it's not that you may not be able to get through, it's just going to take a lot longer. And especially with as busy as the airports are going to be, you definitely want to arrive to the airport at least 2 to 3 hours ahead of your flight departure time.
Yeah, something else that you guys also activate usually, and I'm going to ask you if you guys are going to do this, is the Tow to Go program activated this weekend, and what times are those available if so?
So yes, we will be activating the Tow to Go program. It will actually be activating on Friday, July 4th at 6 a.m. Or I'm sorry, 6 p.m. this July 4th. And so what Tow to Go is, it provides you a safe ride for a would-be impaired driver and their vehicle to a safe destination within a 10-mile radius.
Okay, it's always a good tip if you need a ride home. Of course, obviously, officials would tell you do not rely on driving if you're going to be drinking, but it's always a last resort there, and that's open to everybody, not just AAA customers, right?
Yeah, it's open to everybody, AAA members and non-members. It's free. But again, we encourage everyone, if you know that you're going to be drinking alcohol or taking other impairing substances, that you plan ahead so that you can get a safe ride home.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, drinking being something that could potentially turn into a hazard on the road of other people at very least. There's a lot of hazards that people would want to be aware of heading into this weekend. What would you say are some of the biggest ones that people would really want to make sure that they're keeping an eye out for?
I mean, if you're on the roadways, if you're planning to drive, definitely put down distractions. Make sure you're well rested so that you're alert while you're on the roadways. And again, definitely do not drive impaired.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Adrienne Woodland with AAA, we really appreciate your time. And of course, thank you so much for all of the tips. And have a happy 4th of July to you.
Thank you. Same to you.
All right.